We are in another bedroom where there is a beehive underneath this floor. I've obviously already cut carpet and whatnot. There's a water leak that needs to be fixed, but they can't fix it until the beehive's gone. And the carpet's getting replaced, so we were able to cut the carpet rather than just roll it back. Anyway, I've already started, obviously. I'll do some more cuts and then we'll get ready to lift the hive and see what we're looking at. We've done the full cuts. There's cut along there, and we've cleaned up the dust so the bees don't get all covered in dust. Set up the table and the tools. We'll grab one of their bags of rags in a moment so that I can fill back here backwards just to stop bees running deeper in while I'm working, and we'll slowly get this done. Everything is now ready, just got to suit up. Before it all starts falling apart, there we go. It's got a lot of honey in here. There we go. Okay, we haven't started on this section yet. The bit that I got here was too unstable and wasn't going to stay up even if I put it flat, so I just got the brood off it real quick. In doing that, we have the queen. So she is there in the cage underneath that bee. Let me move her out of the way. So the queen's just there. Underneath another bee. Let me lift this up without dropping that. There we go. There's the queen. They are on the right. She's a lot longer than the other bees. So we have the queen. That makes things so much easier having the queen. The brood is in the bottom half of the comb, so we have 2 full frames of honey there, and then we're doing half height frames, almost ideal height, which is a sizing in beekeeping height for the brood, which is the baby bees. I'll just put this back down there. In a moment I'll hang her down between those frames just to keep her nice and safe, and now I'm going to start getting this brood out, these babies. Once we've got all the brood and approximately 8 frames in there, I'll start bee vacuuming and clean up the honey. I didn't get time to get the rags in because I just needed to get to that quickly first, so I'll be vacuuming underneath there before I fill it up. Let's keep going. We now have 2 frames of honey, 6 frames of half brood, and we've got that still to clean up and all that still to clean up. There is more honey behind that piece of timber. It's not actually needed now that the house is built. It's a timber bit that's usually used to keep the I-joists or the joists level while they're building the rest of the structure. So we can take it out because we've got the floor and everything else keeping it stable. It was a weird hive. We had honey and brood, and then we had honey, and then we had more brood. So normally they keep all the brood together, but they had 2 sheets of honey between brood. So I'm hoping there's not more brood in behind that piece of timber, but we'll find that out when we get there. So there we go, we got lots of bees there. I'll scoop most of them into the middle of the box, add another box, and then we'll start bee vacuum and cleaning up. But we've got a few hours to go yet. There we go, so I bee vac'd around the hive box first, just so that I could start moving around without stepping on bees. Got to be really careful when you're not bee vacuuming, there's bees everywhere. So there are bees on the window, but they're not going anywhere, so I'll worry about them near the end. We'll now sort this out, clean it up, and see what else we get to find. But at least we've got the babies in the hive, we've got the queen in the hive, so yeah, it's now just time now. I cleaned that off. I bee-vaxed the window early because the bees are doing such a good job of cleaning up down here. I wanted to let them keep doing that. I will now start cutting it up and bee-vacking them out, but yeah, they're like a whole bunch of little ants just cleaning up the mess and doing a great job of it. So there we go. Getting there slowly. It's getting really hot in this room, and even hotter in the bee suit, but we'll get there. It's slow going, but we are getting there. I'm scraping up the centre of the spilled honey and letting the bees clean up along the edges, so it gets cleaned a lot better than what I can clean it. And I've cleaned up here as well. Main priority now is just to get to that timber and pull that timber out, because there'll be a couple of thousand bees behind that piece of timber working the comb there, between the edge of the flooring and the brickwork. So on with the show. So how awesome are these ladies? They have already cleaned up fully one side and they've almost finished the other side in the time it's taken me to clear out the comb up to the timber. Just got a little bit of comb to take off the timber and then we've taken that piece out. But yeah, they've done a fantastic job. There we go, so I had to cut through the timber at the middle to get it out, which meant I did cut into the next piece of comb, which is alright. There's still brood on this comb, obviously, so I'm going to frame it up and drop it into the hive once I get to quarantine tonight, once I finish this. So even though the brood's not in there now, it will be tonight. We're getting there. I've pulled out an extra 3.5 frames of brood. There's still a little bit more comb in there, but it's all pollen rather than brood. Every sheet I pulled out was as covered in bees as the one that as this, and there were eggs in that brood that I pulled out. So if I hadn't have cleared this out, the bees would have made a new queen from the eggs they had. So we're getting there, it's nearly done. Oh, I'm starting to get a headache. I've got the bulk of the honey out. Yeah, there's a bit goes down the wall. Still a heap of bees in the cavity. I'm going to have to spray eucalyptus oil. Force them outside or force them into this room. I'll spray eucalyptus along that crevice into each of the other cavities just to get them to move out. It has become dark outside, so the bees are now starting to go to light, obviously, and around the room, so it makes it a little bit harder to finish off. But next step's the eucalyptus oil, and then we'll fill up the cavity and get all the bees that are inside. There we go, we've filled the cavity, a little bit left over, but that's all good. Fill the cavity, I'll put the floor back in, and then I'll go around the room, bee vac in the bees that have come out. Heaps of delight, of course. And then we're done. That was a little bit harder than expected just because it went down the wall and off to the edges. But at least we got the queen and all the brood. So any bees that did stay in the wall can't make a new queen. So give it a week and the hive's all sorted. Okay, so bees are there. We had 3 miss the boat in bee vacuum. They were under some stuff I didn't find. Floor's all back together. We've got Yosara, there we go, landowner, and now they can fix the carpet and do all what they need to do there. But no more bees everywhere in the room like there were. So yay, fun times.